Welcome back to another episode of NFT Catcher Podcast. We'd like to remind everybody that nothing on the show is meant as financial advice, and to please do your own research. Thank you, and enjoy the show.
Now the subject is NFTs.
They're known as non-fungible tokens, or NFTs.
NFTs are exploding in popularity.
This is a technology that will forever change the way people interact.
So it is happening whether you understand it and like it or not.
This phenomenon is moving. The digital.
You have now joined Jenny from the blockchain and Michael Keene on the NFT Catcher Podcast.
What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the NFT Catcher Podcast with me, Jenny from the blockchain, and my co-host, Michael Keene. Today's special Web3 security episode, we have none other than Plumferno, who is a Discord security expert and also the nerd mom of ServerFor, which we're going to get into. So, Plumferno, welcome to the show.
Hi.
What's up? How's it going? You were just saying right before this, sorry, that you spent the last several hours, like the last 7 hours, just chasing hackers. Is that correct?
Pretty much, yeah. I found out that Serpent had his account pulled down earlier today, and he posted pictures. Zach posted pictures that the hackers sent to him and said, basically, "You're next." And it was the same people that he had posted a thread about the other day, the Cam and all of them. And we had already gotten a lot of information about them from their previous exploits and have spent basically all day going back and forth and tracing everything we possibly could.
Yeah, geez, that sounds like a lot. And by the way, for those of you who don't know, Zach XVT is who she's talking about, which we've talked about a lot on this podcast. He's basically the on-chain sleuth of the NFT space. And yeah, he's just kind of like the detective in the space and exposes a lot of scammers and hackers. And recently he had come out with a whole thread exposing this guy, Cameron Redmond, who like literally hacked like all of the major, a bunch of the major NFT Twitter accounts like Keyboard Monkey and Zeneca and Franklin, and hacked them to then, post malicious links and scam websites so that he can then steal people's crypto and NFTs. And so he is amassed quite a bit of money doing that. And of course, he has a whole team of people, right? And so, yeah, that's what...
He's a teenager.
And he's a teenager.
He was a teenager. And the reason that he didn't spend much time in jail in Canada was because he was underage. And they let him out early.
Jeez.
And he only ended up paying back like 5 million of the however many that he got. But the thing is now is that he's no longer underage.
And still doing the same stuff?
Still doing the same stuff. He took a break for a little while, apparently, but he's absolutely back to doing it.
And it's like a crew of people, you said.
It is. There's a whole bunch of them. They all have like single small word name Twitter accounts. Mm-hmm. Like just, nouns of some variety. And they keep those, but they change Discord accounts in the blink of an eye. They've got countless Discord accounts, and they'll just slap the same profile onto a new Discord account when we catch them and they get pulled down. But that's the thing, is that they love the clout and they love the attention. So they use the same things. They just carbon copy the Discord profiles onto a new account number.
Oh, that's interesting.
So they have the same Twitter accounts linked to them and everything.
So it's easy to find them in that respect. So like the Canadian government knows about them. The guy went to jail and got in trouble for it originally.
For stuff from years ago,
again,
right? Like
for stuff from years ago. So it wasn't NFTs, it was other sort of scamming.
Crypto, yeah.
Okay, crypto scamming. And now he's doing NFTs. You would think his days are numbered. I mean, hopefully someone's contacted the authorities or whatever. Yeah.
They have. The thing is that the recent thing with Zach, what he posted was that Cam had gotten access to what's called an admin panel for Twitter.
Okay.
And when you saw all those recent Twitter hacks for Franklin and now
Zeneca, right?
All of them.
Yep.
It was by using this Twitter admin panel that he had gained access to. So some less than moral Twitter employee at some point. Are you
saying Elon Musk has something to do with this?
And
no, I'm just kidding.
Don't even get me started on Elon.
No. Let's go back to NFTs. Let's go back to NFTs.
we got personal feels in this place.
I'm just kidding. Okay, sorry. No, you're talking about important stuff. I just made a joke.
It's all right. So he has access to this admin panel. And what he was doing is basically selling access to it to people who wanted to hack into accounts and stuff. And just obscene amounts of money, what we would consider, house, like buy the entire house payment kind of stuff. And there's just these kids just flinging it out, and they just rack it in. There's massive bank accounts full, and their parents don't know. So they just collect it, and they do stuff like buy watches. There's watch dealers and all kinds of stuff that they spend this money on because they can't exactly go out and buy a Lambo when they're 15.
They can't like cash it out and stuff,
they
right?
Can't. They can't do anything like that.
Yeah.
And because they got rid of Tornado Cash, they can't even do that now.
So Tornado Cash was just somewhere where you could send your crypto and it kind of spins it around. You don't know where it goes or where it came from. Yep. That's what I got from the context of that. Yep.
Money laundering 101.
Right.
And they used it incessantly. But whenever we first started doing this, it was just Discord. And because of the way that all of this has been happening and realizing that these people have branched out, and you can even see it on the blockchain, like the same accounts that hack the same wallets that hack the Discord accounts are the same ones that are hacking the Twitter accounts. And like they'll hit multiple Discords at the same time. What was it, a week ago we had Llamaverse and Gojira, and it's the same people. They go at the same time, and they'll go into these Discord accounts and hack a mod, and then they sit and wait. And they've been waiting, maybe a day or two from what we thought, but it's now becoming apparent that they are willing to wait weeks if they need to. They'll hack an account and they'll just sit there until they get closer to mint date or something. So it's maximum hype. And they'll just sit there and not do anything. And whoever it is that clicked on that link or whatever, they have no idea because it's been weeks. Yeah. They don't remember doing it, but because the hacker hasn't done anything to the account to make it obvious.
Yeah.
It's just there.
Wow. Our NFT catcher Discord was hacked a couple months ago, and we didn't know how it happened. We know that which one of our teammates had it happen to him, but he didn't really know how. And they were posting, I don't know who it was, if it was the same people or not, but nobody got caught, thankfully, in our Discord. But they posted like, we're minting this, whatever, and
the fake
and we
mint
wire
link.
it. Yeah, exactly. Luckily, nobody in our Discord fell for it, but that happened.
I probably got
crazy.
A list of the people who did it.
I'd love to know. Might hit you up later.
We probably got them on the list somewhere.
Unbelievable.
I was just gonna say, because we always kind of like to start with the history of the person that we're interviewing. I know we kind of dived into things.
We had
some
excitement,
but I am curious to hear. Which, by the way, our last this is our third episode in our new series, our new once a month series on Web3 security. We're trying to have more educational episodes. We're really try our best to bring on experts to educate people. And our last guest for that we had on was Feld from Boarding Security, and he highly recommended you. So we're like, oh, we got to bring Plumferno on, no questions. And so, yeah, I'm really, honored that you came on the show. And I'm curious if you can just kind of tell us a bit about your background with security, with Web3, and then with Discord.
Well, funny enough about Feld is that a week ago, he and I got on a call and spent 2 hours nerding out at each other about Web3 security stuff. We eventually just had to sort of agree to stop talking because he's in Korea and he had to go to bed.
That sounds like something that definitely happened.
Yep.
Yes.
Without going into too much detail, considering today's events, I do not have a traditional background in security. I have spent the majority of my life as an internet nerd since the mid 90s. Actually, I've been hanging out in chat rooms and learning all the ins and outs. And I spent some time as a Reddit mod for a rather large subreddit, and it was educational. And I got into the crypto space a little bit over a year ago. And because of my extreme knowledge of internet nerdery, when I landed in my first NFT server, they pretty much gave me a role as a mod in maybe like the first day that I was there, because it was right when they minted and it was just absolute chaos in there and they had no idea what to do at all. They just sort of flung this project together in days, and it was this, meme thing, and they literally just threw it together in a very short amount of time. Had no idea how to run a Discord server, and I jumped in and just started directing traffic because I couldn't help it. And they're like, oh, hey, you know what you're doing. Cool, you're a mod now. Like, what? And I think it was maybe a week or two at most later, and they'd already made me an admin, and I ended up being the server owner at maybe a month and a half.
Dang, they just handed it over.
They just had no idea. They had no clue. And they had somebody who was running the server who was just very inexperienced, and lots of things kept breaking. And I ended up actually working for one of the founders after that. And it was like an NFT marketing firm kind of thing. And I very quickly started to realize that in the NFT space, nobody knew what they were doing. And that's still the case. And I started getting asked by other people, hey, can you take a look at my server? Hey, can you see if I've set this up right? Because I don't want to get hacked. And in the space of maybe 2 months, I went from doing that to people seeking me out to do their security for their server, do their setups, do what I now am calling audits. I just had no idea at the time. I didn't know there were other people doing this. I didn't know there were other server setup people. I didn't know there were other auditors or anything. I was flying blind. I had no idea. And probably in like January, there was it's about the first wave of hacking really first started up. And there'd been a bunch before, but there was no method to it. And then probably about January or February, they started coming up with the whole approaching mods and offering them fake jobs and stuff. And, hey, we'd like to offer you a job. Can you come into our server? And it happened to somebody in one of the servers that I was running, and I fell for it. And I gathered up as much of the information as I could and started bouncing around all the servers that I had friends in, going to like their report scams channels or whatever, and basically saying, hey, there's this thing that's happening. There's hackers trying to steal mod accounts by offering them a job. So fair warning, don't do it. Don't fall for it. And I ended up going into like probably a good 10 servers or something. And each one takes a finite amount of time because you have to find a mod, you have to get them to understand what's going on, that you're not the hacker, that you're passing on the message, and blah, blah, blah. And that's all time that is being wasted because they're bouncing from server to server too. They're going from place to place to try to, get somebody else. And I just got really frustrated because I was thinking, I know I'm not the only person doing this. I can't be the only person doing this. And the more and more I thought about it, the more annoyed I got. And I eventually got on Twitter and, posted something about what the scam was and how to avoid it, and pictures and everything. And I got a message later that day from somebody who said that they had the same message sent to them. And because they had searched on Twitter for the name of the person or whatever doing it, they knew that it was fake. They knew that it was a scam, and that I'd saved them from getting hacked. And I found out later that they were actually from a really big server, from a really big project. And it's somebody who's in ServerForge now, but I don't even know if they remember that. But it was kind of a defining moment because it meant that what I was doing actually was saving people and preventing communities from getting all of this damage. And I was thinking, maybe I should start up some sort of thing and try to convince some of these other people that I'm seeing on Twitter to join in. And believe it or not, I am somewhat of a massive introvert. So approaching other people is not one of my strong points. So I didn't. And then the next day, I saw somebody on Twitter who had clicked on the scam and had fallen for it and had gotten hacked, and their server had the fake mint link posted, and they lost, it's like 16 ETH or something. And it was when ETH was still well over 3,000. Yeah, exactly. It was still well over 3,000. So it was a pretty decent amount of money.
Yep.
And I got so mad because I spent all that time bouncing around to these servers and posting these stupid links, and I don't have anywhere near enough reach. I don't have the kind of Twitter account to get the kind of, like Zach does or Serpent or whoever.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got this evidence of this scam that nobody else has posted about yet. Nobody's talking about it. And I'm like, why is there no community for security nerds? This is so annoying. And, I just it's one of those things, you get to a certain age and you have enough kids that you just, well, fine then, I'll do it myself. So I made this ridiculously nerdy server with D&D channel names and just absolute ridiculous everything. And I just went all out. That's all I did for 3 days, was just come up with all these names and this theme and everything. And I started spamming invites to all the admins of servers that I knew and said, hey, get so-and-so in. And ended up with John and Jacob, Luke and Amop. He's the spam defender dev. And they joined in really early. And they were very, very, they were very hesitant because it was kind of like, who is this person? Sounds like a really good idea, but who is this person? And they listened to me and my rant and pretty much said, oh, okay, well, that sounds cool. We should do that because you're right. There isn't anywhere. And that was in February. And we have over 400 people in ServerForge now. Wow. We've got Serpent. We've got Fubar. We've got most of the biggest projects in the space have got at least one person, admin or mod or founder or something in there.
What are you guys doing there?
We talk shop.
Talk shop. You make sure everyone's safe. They know the latest information, the latest scams.
The overall theme, the whole goal of ServerForge is to share information. And that's in whatever form we can. It means we share scam information. We share security update info. If there's some new way that we've seen that could compromise Discord, we get that information out. We've got several announcement channels that are followed by, last time I looked was a couple weeks ago, was over 40 different servers.
Oh, cool. So basically an announcement hey, this has been hacked, that's been hacked. I would love to get that in the NFT Catcher Discord.
I can totally do it.
Yeah.
It's in boring security. It's in the artifact server. It's in all over the place.
I would love that.
two different ones. We've got one that's just for the scammers. So it's just got basically their profiles, their account numbers and everything, so you can just ban them before they even get in there.
That's more like an admin, like, you know, you could follow it, but for behind the scenes.
Yeah,
and then the one that's right. Yeah.
And then there's the scam warnings, which is like a lot of the other ones that you see from everywhere. And we have two incoming announcement channels, which are followed scam channels from other servers. And I think there's probably like 30 of them, but it's like all of the, you know, the security pings from various big servers and stuff all accumulated into one place.
That's really cool.
So,
I love that. I love you're like a hero in the space, honestly, because it's like it's so bad. And the worst part is all these people that get scammed probably don't come back. A lot of them, they get scammed and they're like, F
sometimes this. Because sometimes in the beginning it was when they were just going after ETH.
Right.
That made a lot of people give up.
Yeah.
But it apparently takes a lot more work to do that as far as the back end of the hacks go or whatever. And they've realized that it's easier to just swipe NFTs. And that's pretty much what they do now is they just swipe the NFTs and
it's usually like it's like your most expensive collection and they just take from that. Yep.
Because they've got their software that they use pretty much has a list of the most expensive projects in it.
Just look for them.
That's why if you've got, you know, nothing but, you know, $20 junk in your wallet, they're not going to bother because it costs more to flog that kind of stuff than it does.
Yeah, they can't sell it. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And what they'll do is they'll target servers that have a lot of Bored Ape people in them, and they'll target servers with a lot of doodles in them and whatever else. They'll specifically aim for servers like that. And the rule of thumb used to be that you needed an audit if you had like over 2,000 people in your server. That is absolutely no longer the case by any means. It does not matter how many people you have in your server. It matters who you have in your server. And they can see there's these tools that they can use that will allow you to view the permissions of a Discord server, and they'll just pop in with one of their accounts. You don't know it's them, and they can go, oh, you know, do. Well, their permissions are crap. I'm just gonna do whatever I want, and it tells them what level of mod they need to go for. So if you've got a server that's got like 10 mods, and you have intelligently given them all admin permissions,
very intelligently,
you know, they can go like, oh, hey, you know, I don't need to go all the way up the ladder. I can just get one of these and it's great.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's what we've always heard, that it's about the permissions and the hierarchy and making sure all that is locked tight.
It is really, really important. And
I remember that time back in January very well because Andy and I were both working on the Cheech and Chong project back then. And Ozzy Osbourne's project was coming out at the same time, and they had a really bad hack, the Crypto Bats. Yep.
Do you remember how they did that? The Crypto Bats one?
I remember they got into their it kept posting over and over again in their server, right? And like they couldn't stop it from posting, and they didn't know what to do. I don't know how it happened.
Because what they did was whenever the Aussie server was launching, they posted a vanity Discord invite. So, you know, it was
and they lost their right.
They
Someone
changed it. What they did was they changed it, and they didn't save the old one in an empty server. And what happened was that the hackers basically said, "Oh, hey, thanks," and they grabbed the old one, which was still posted on an old tweet for the CryptoBat server. And their new one was not in an obvious location. It was not obvious where it was. So people were going, oh, hey, Ozzy Osbourne NFT. And they're searching on Twitter. And they find this old tweet with a whole bunch of likes on it with an old invite link. And it goes to a server that looks identical. I went to it because I wanted to see what the heck was going on. And it did. It looked identical. But instead of like a normal verification bot, as soon as you got there, it had Collabland.
A fake Collabland. Oh, man.
Yeah. and it looked identical. And there were so many people in there going, oh, hey, how do I verify? I tried linking up with this thing, but blah, 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 blah. And that's what happened, is that they got in there and they just slurped out millions, stupid amounts of money, and all because of stinking link.
A vanity link. Unbelievable.
Link.
Now that you mention that, I do remember that. I remember that. Yeah.
We've got some of the CryptoBats mods in the server now.
Okay.
And they speak of that time unhappily.
Yeah, that was a while ago now. That was back mid-January. I remember it very well.
Was it really?
Yeah. Because we dropped at the end of January. They dropped like 10 days before us.
Wow.
Yep.
Plum, you're saving all
September.
You're saving all the projects, all the people. ServerFor is like really hard to get into, right? I mean, not really hard, but it's just like, it's not, you can't just, click the link and get in. Like
we do checks on pretty much everybody at this point.
And it's like, and so how does somebody get in? If somebody wants to be a part of ServerForge, how do they go about doing that?
Ritual sacrifice.
Ritual sacrifice.
It's a joke.
Ritual sacrifice.
Ritual sacrifice. It's a joke that we started a while ago. Is that we'd have new people come in and they'd go, well, how do I see the rest of the server? And I'd say, ritual sacrifice.
Oh my God.
And they're like, wait, what? Basically, you have to send me a message, me or John or somebody that's already in there and has a good standing. Because if you don't have a personal recommendation from somebody who knows you and is willing to put their reputation on the line to say, I know who this person is, I can verify that they are in fact not a dodgy hacker, then you cannot get in. And I have people who will send me messages and say, hey, can I get in? I'm like, you don't have any mutual friends. You don't have any history of anything security related on your Twitter account.
Right.
You've got nothing that can show me who you are. We did recently open it up slightly in that we have multiple layers of verification now, and we let people come in that aren't as verifiable, but they still do not get to go past the very first level without us being able to verify them in some way. And they'll sit there otherwise.
Yeah, I think I'm on that first level. I made it in, but then I didn't really
Well, see, you have to post your socials and stuff and be like, hey, this is who I am.
My social security number?
Hi.
No, I'm just kidding.
These days,
phrase.
Right?
Seed phrase,
These days, you'd be like, here's my seed phrase.
Yeah.
It's my Discord token. But we've got a bunch of information in there that would be a gold mine for any hacker, because we're not just sharing information that like everybody knows kind of stuff. It's not like, oh, here's how to fix your perms up. We've got people in there who are at the highest level of dealing with this kind of stuff. And so we talk about emerging issues. Somebody discovers a problem with a widely used bot or a way that a server could have problems, and they're going to come in and say, hey guys, I found this thing. We need to figure out how to fix it. And information like that getting out could be highly detrimental. Like there was an issue a few weeks back with a very well-known bot, and one of the white hat hackers that we have in the server found it and shared the information with us, and we all had a collective freak out when we realized how bad it was. And and we got it handled. We reported it to the support team of that bot, but it was really unnerving because we all realized just how bad it could be if that got out. And it's like we're holding information that nobody else knows that's highly volatile, and it's just here in this little server with all these nerds who are essentially committed to helping a community that, for the most part, doesn't know we exist. And some of us are, we're paid to do audits and stuff, but we don't get paid for this kind of thing.
Yeah.
We don't get paid to sit and chase hackers or, tell people about dodgy bots. I've spent hours working on educational resources and things. I'm out probably pushing 2 ETH at this point on just getting content together and paying for subscriptions and setups and everything else.
Yep.
And it's very much a labor of love, but everybody who's in there is committed is a good word. We're all very stubborn, probably a little masochistic. We're all very much gluttons for punishment. Long hours and late nights and having bullseyes for hackers painted on our backs. But for the most part, it's incredibly rewarding. And we know that we've saved so many people, but there's still more. So that's why we keep doing it.
It's never ending.
You're doing, yeah, never ending.
Yeah,
it really is.
But yes, you're doing the Lord's work out here.
Yep.
I'm kind of curious. What are some commons? You've seen a lot of scams. You've seen a lot, and I'm just curious. For the listeners out there that maybe they're a little newer to Discord, or maybe they haven't really experienced, the different types of hacks and scams that typically you would come across. What are some common Discord scams and ways that people could easily avoid them, or things that people could do, to kind of prevent things that are relatively simple?
Never, ever, ever click on a surprise mint link in your server. Never. Like, if you have not been paying enough attention to whatever project you're in to know when exactly the mint is, and you suddenly start getting a whole bunch of pings from this server, and you go in and there's people in the chat going, oh yeah, it's, surprise mint, whatever. Don't click on it. Don't click on it. Don't do it unless you are willing to risk the entire contents of your wallet. And you can look at that link and say, I am willing to throw all of this into the wind to click on that link. Don't do it. Don't do it. Go look on their Twitter account, because you can't trust any of the other announcements that are in the server. You can't trust any of the people that are in the server, because they plant people in the chat to say, hey, go mint. Hey, go mint. Oh, I just minted. It looks great. It's amazing. Go look on their Twitter. Go look on their website. Something. Anywhere else. Search on Twitter for the project's name and look to see if there's anybody going, oh, hey, the such and such server has been hacked. There's a fake mint link. Go look. Don't just blindly charge ahead. That is the number one thing that you will do to lose everything you've got. The other one is close your DMs. Just if you need to talk to somebody, you can send them a friend request. They can send you a friend request. Do not accept links in DMs. Do not trade your stuff in DMs. Do not believe that so-and-so mod from such and such server is picking you as a special little snowflake to have this magical mint link that they've decided out of the goodness of their heart to share with you on this blessed day. It's not real. You're not getting anything. It ain't going to happen. You are, in fact, a special snowflake, but not how you think. Let's see. There's individual stuff like nobody's going to give you free nitro. If you're getting links for like signing up for a whitelist or something, same kind of thing. You need to be extremely hesitant. If you live a life of paranoia on Discord, you're probably going to be fine. Impersonator accounts are pretty bad. Like they'll copy a mod account or whatever and try to get in touch with you. Go into the server and tag the mod and be like, yo, did you just send me a message? Are you trying to sell me, whatever? And they're going to say no. And they can ban the person who's doing it. Obviously the, seed phrase stuff. Don't ever give anybody your seed phrase. Don't ever share your screen with people that you don't know. If you have any thought that you might have gone into a funky server and verified on a bot that is not entirely legitimate, change your password. The only way to recover a compromised Discord account is to change your password. Nothing else will work. You cannot get it back by refreshing Discord. You can't get it by shutting Discord down. If you delete your account, that's just dumb and pointless. You've accomplished nothing. But the very best and only way is to change your password. So if you go into one of those servers and you click on fake dino and you scan the QR code with your phone, which you should never, ever, 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 ever do, change your password. Please don't scan things with your phone.
You hear that, Andy? About QR codes?
Yeah, so Andy and Michael are like definitely anti QR codes, so you're definitely feeding into their.
Yeah, I'm just joking. We had a joke at the first NFT NYC. Andy scanned something somewhere, and I was like, he's just going around scanning every QR code he could find.
Jesus.
And I was busting his chops. He wasn't, though. He wasn't quite that bad, but there was like one of them that he did, and I was I've made fun of him for about a year about that.
What's funny is that I think that I have been ranting loudly enough about it regularly enough on things like this that my kids have gotten the idea now, because when I went to my fifth graders school orientation a couple weeks ago, they had like a QR code on a wall for the orientation slides or whatever, get a copy and have it on your phone. And my son is like, that's one of those things.
It's a scam. Yeah.
I think I'm rubbing off on them.
Well, maybe they'll grow up to be a paranoid Discord user, which is the hope, right?
I don't know about that.
Yeah. So what's wrong with people scanning QR codes? Is it because a lot you don't know what the link is going to take you to, and it could be something malicious, and especially if you have your wallet linked on your phone, like then it's just not good.
Well, as far as Discord is concerned, if you've ever seen or used the QR code login feature in the mobile app, that's what you're doing. If you scan a QR code in Discord, most of the time what you're doing is you're logging your account in, which is already logged in, and you're sending that login information straight to the hackers.
Got it.
That's your login token. A login token is basically the exact same thing as what a seed phrase is. It has all of your Discord information. That includes, like, if you have a PayPal, a credit card, or whatever hooked up, what they'll do is they'll get access to that, and they'll just spam a whole bunch of Nitro invites and send them to their alts, so they don't have to deal with, credit card declines or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They'll just buy themselves a whole bunch of Nitro and use it to boost their stolen servers and crap.
Interesting.
But they can't change your password, but that's it. They can do anything else with your account. You got all your DMs with your friends, your moderator accounts. If your account isn't worth anything, they'll use it to spam stuff. They'll use it as a mule.
Can they add two-factor authentication to your account if you don't have it on, and then not allowing you to get back in? No, they can't do that either.
Nope, They cannot do that.
Yep.
One of the things that Discord has recently added is a logged in devices thing. And I'm not sure if it's entirely working as intended yet, but it lets you see, with your Gmail or whatever, you've got the ability to see where all you're logged in. And you can revoke certain devices. And to do that, you have to have the password. So it means that if they've got access to your account, and you can look on there and see, oh, hey, my account's logged in, Uzbekistan or something right now, and I'm in Atlanta, you can go boop, boop, and take it off. But they can't do it from their end because you've got to have the password to do it. Unlike a seed phrase, though, like I said, you can get it back if you change your password. But if you lose access to it entirely, you're out of luck.
Yeah, that is not good. My last big question that I have is, okay, so we kind of went over the common scams and how to avoid them, but what about best security practices? So maybe when you're first setting up an account, or maybe you've even had a Discord account for a while, like a year or something, and maybe there's things that security practices that you should be doing that you just don't know about. What security practices would you advise people to follow for Discord? You
should get a copy of your backup codes. Don't, like a seed phrase, don't keep it, as a screenshot in your phone. Use an authenticator app. Do not rely on phone number, SMS based 2FA. You should always put 2FA on your account. It cannot stop a token stealing, but there's a lot of other things that it can stop. You should change your password fairly regularly. Let's see. Please don't use QR codes. Please don't use QR codes. Even if you are not a mod or an admin of a major server or anything, if you have any desire whatsoever to spin up a server, don't use Me6. Do not use
Why?
Me6.
What's wrong with Me6?
Me6 has absolutely horrible security. And I don't mean it's bad because all it does is have a reaction roll and it's not really got a captcha kind of thing. The bot itself has so many holes, it might as well be Swiss cheese. There are problems with the code of that bot, the security, back-end stuff that I know about that are open problems that I would not put Me6 into a server. Absolutely. If you absolutely have to put Me6 in because you are incapable of doing anything else, or you're dealing with somebody who's too stubborn to not use Me6, use custom Me6. Premium custom Me6. That doesn't mean just pay for the premium and leave the stupid little blue-faced guy in there. That means you need to go through the whole process of using the Discord developers thing and putting on a custom profile picture and a custom name and all that jazz. That one is slightly less janky than the others. But if you have a blue-faced Me6 in your server, you might as well just shine a flashlight on the way in. So be like, hey, come on, guys.
I love it. You're like, has more holes than Swiss cheese. Anyway, what would you recommend?
Me checking our server right now.
Yeah,
please get rid. If you're listening to this and you have blue-faced Me6 in your server, make it go away.
Michael, please don't tell me your server has a Me6. Come on.
No, it doesn't. We have a good. Maybe not as good as Plum here, but we had a good auditor.
Okay, what would you recommend instead? Like, okay, people were like, "What? No, I love Me6," and now they're like, their dreams are shattered, and now they need to, choose a different bot. What do you?
If you are not very Discord proficient, Dino is a good one. It does a lot of the same stuff, the embeds and like the reaction roles and time messages and all that kind of stuff. It'll do a lot of the same kind of things. Probot is one of our favorites. You can get premium with it. You can customize it. It does music and levels and a whole bunch of other stuff.
What is it called? Probot?
Probot.
Okay.
Probot.
Interesting.
It's slightly more complex, but it's worth it. You need either Spam Defender or Hashbot in your server. Do not skimp on these things. Get the premiums, sign up for it. It's like, this is not something you should skip. They stop impersonator accounts. That means all the fake CAPTCHA bots, all the fake mod dupe accounts, all that kind of stuff. They'll stop those. Spam Defender also stops raids. So if you go with a Hashbot, you also need BMO usually. Spam Defender will handle both. It does, they'll both do like the weird Unicode characters. So, if you've got somebody coming in with a weird O in their name to mimic somebody like that, it'll catch those. Server Supervisor is a simple and free bot for a CAPTCHA. It does in-channel CAPTCHA, so you don't have to send your people out to another website or in their DMs. It's super, super easy. You just basically run like 4 words in a command to set it up, and it'll handle your verification for you. And has the added benefit that it watches for webhooks too. I can send y'all the link for that afterwards if you want.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. We can link it in the show notes as well.
If you're a bit more adventurous,
I
highly recommend getting Wick. It is a gigantic pain in the butt to set up. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of knowledge. It is not something I would recommend the average noob try. And there's a large number of people in ServerForge who would be more than happy to help you set up Wick. Some of them will even do it for free, probably, or for a very, very small amount of money. Some of us don't have time to do that kind of stuff anymore. But it will stop a server nuke. So if you've got somebody who gets compromised, and we saw one tonight that I think it was that Kaido server or whatever. The hackers got in and they did the link and they did the whole thing, and then they wiped most of the channels. So their server's just empty.
Oof.
And Wick will stop that from happening. If you configure it right and you've got the hierarchy of your permissions and your roles and everything set up, it will basically slam your entire server into a lockdown panic mode and allow no one to do anything at all. It just slams the lid on the entire thing until somebody with the appropriate power comes along and says, oh, hey, it's all good.
All clear. Right. What, and I know it probably varies wildly, but what is like a good kind of Discord server audit cost?
It does vary. A large part of it is based on what you're getting. The most of the higher level auditors from ServerForge ask for like a server that's already open, active, has, people in it, fairly normal amount of roles and channels and all that kind of jazz. You're going to be looking at a couple grand at least. You're going to be looking anywhere from 2 to 4, maybe upwards, depending on what it is. 2 ETH, 3 ETH, 4 ETH. I don't know what ETH is right now. Let's see. That's back over 1,500. That's cool.
Hey.
Hallelujah.
We'll take it for now.
But you're going to be looking at several $1,000s. And it's not it's not an easy amount of money for anybody, obviously. But the ramifications of not doing so are very easy to see every day.
Well, when you're a large project looking to bring in 1,000 ETH or whatever it is, then it's when it's really necessary.
It is,
and it's worth it at that
even at the price range, though. There are people who I will not name at this particular point, but who are charging large amounts of money for a service that is absolutely not comparable with the cost. And
100%, like in any service industry.
All I can say is, please do not let marketing get in the way of making a good decision as far as an auditor goes. Just because somebody has flashy graphics or lots of engagement farming does not at all make them a good auditor. Look for people who are spending large amounts of time actively helping the community. Go to their Twitter account. How much security information are they posting? How much stuff are they saying, hey, watch out for this hacker? Hey, community, I am spending my time freely without getting paid to do this, to help people that I don't know. And if the person that you're hiring isn't doing things like that, if they're asking about what's your favorite flavor of birthday cake, or aren't tweeting at all, or, look for the helpers. Like Mr. Rogers said, look for the helpers. There are people out there who spend hours and hours every day trying to help the community out of the goodness of their hearts. And they get overlooked because somebody else has got flashy graphics or a fancy bot or tens of thousands of followers or whatever. And it's frustrating, and it makes people like us just kind of go, why are we bothering? Because we'll be the ones educating whatever community has hired these people at the end of the day, whenever they invariably get hacked. Because if all they're doing is, flashing the marketing, they're not spending hours and hours and hours and hours and hours going through a server. A good audit is going to take a long time because it takes hours. WIC alone has something like 180 screens that you have to look at. We're looking, when we set up servers and do audits and stuff, 500 different screens easily, because you look at every role, you look at every channel, you look at every permission, you look at all of their bots, all of the permissions they have there, everything. It takes hours. If the person that you're hiring is in and out in half a day, you should probably rethink things. It's not something that you can quickly do and really have it be what it needs to be, especially in this day and age. And just be cautious. If they're not willing to, hop on a call with you, don't hire them. Don't throw freaking $5,000 at this person.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That is some great advice.
Wow.
Which I'm not sure, Michael, if you have any follow-up questions. I know Plum has, a bit of a tight schedule because she has kids and everything, and it's late over on her end. But so we can wrap this up soon. But Michael, do you have any last minute questions or anything you wanted to mention?
Yeah, no, I mean, just honestly, this was really interesting. I love what you do. I think it's so cool. And if you ever need any help from us, I don't know what it would be, but always happy to be there, because I love people that are trying to keep people safe in the NFT space, because that is one of the worst things. People are getting robbed every day. We had a couple friends of the podcast get robbed literally just this week. On OpenSea, they were like trending collections on OpenSea.
The Freaky Mario one or whatever.
That were scam collections. Yeah, whatever it was. I don't know. Yeah, there's a couple of them, because I think 2 people got 2 different ones. But are you a collector of NFTs? Do you have any favorite projects or NFTs or artists or anything?
I've got Clone X. Yep.
Oh yeah, I saw your profile picture.
There's actually, I'll give a special shout out. We have a ServerForge mascot, kinda. There's this young artist that John HQ found not too terribly long ago, and we're all big fans of theirs. And it's just this young person who's got all of their stuff on Polygon, and they do little individual things, and they release a small collection every now and then, and they're called Angie Chubbies. And they're just these little, oh
wow,
little fat critters, but they all have little Angie faces on them, and they say things like, don't touch me, I'm stabby. And most of the top half of the people in the server have got one, and we've all changed our name to Angie something. There's Angie Plum and Angie John.
Oh, nice.
So everybody's got a little scowly faced chubby critter. And we collect cute things for the most part. And I am absolutely no exception. I am a sucker for cute stuff. I'm definitely here for the art.
Nice.
Oh my gosh.
And I like your Damien Hirst rug in the background there.
It's
not that one, the one on the other side. It looks like the currency
for a wedding present. And only this past year, whenever the whole Hearst thing happened, and I would get on calls like this, and people go, "Oh, what is that rug in your background?" Like,
and they would say, "Is that
it is.
It looks like currency. You should sue him. Like you stole this from." Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, thank you so much for coming on. We really, really appreciate it. And thanks for all the time and all the detail and all the information.
And I know you said you talked to Feld last time. We're linking up with Boring Security. We're going to have a whole lot of collaboration from now on.
Cool.
And so keep your eyes out for
that's great.
Boring Security plus ServerForge, because it's happening. We have a lot of plans in the works.
That's the ultimate security power duo right there.
Wait.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I guess if you're listening, can people reach out to you for
definitely. Definitely.
If you're trying to get your Discord audited, you're willing to shell out, 10 each, then hit up Plum.
Oh gosh, man, you could get 3 of us in there for that. You get a whole team of ServerForge people. If you're a security nerd, if you're an admin, if you're a founder, if you've got stuff you really want to learn about Discord security, and at this point, Twitter security, then get in touch and let us know what it is we can help you. There are some free courses linked on my Twitter page and the ServerForge page. There's a security game. John has a quiz that's more aimed at like mods and stuff, but there's free resources, so go check them out. And if you like what you see and you want more, then get in touch.
There we go. Yeah, we'll link your Twitter in the show notes and everything. But Plumferno, Plumferno. Thank you again for coming on the show, and hopefully everybody listening enjoyed this episode. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
Thank you for tuning in to the NFT Catcher Podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's episode and learned something new about the exciting world of NFTs. If you enjoyed today's episode, please take a moment to subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And if you really love what you're hearing, please leave us a rating and review on your favorite platform. If you want to stay up to date with the latest news and insights from the NFT space, be sure to follow us on all the socials at NFT Catcher Pod. You can follow Jennifer at Jennifer_pseudo and Michael at NFTicket. I'm your producer, Andy, and I'm at AJC254. Our theme song's by It's Just Los. We always appreciate your feedback and support, which helps us reach more people and bring you informative and engaging content about NFTs. We look forward to bringing you more great NFT content in future episodes. Thanks for listening. Peace.